Welcome. This is the second in a series of short presentations about using Excel to solve some interesting data problems. In this case, we'll be randomly selecting items from a long list by applying parameters set by the user. Once again, the example spreadsheet can be downloaded and examined in detail. The example is a spreadsheet which selects some music albums to play. The assumption is that we have access to a large selection of albums, each with ratings from a variety of places. We want a spreadsheet to suggest a randomly selected shortlist that we can then pick from. Here's what the user sees. In blue at the top, there are questions the user answers, such as which year the album should come from, how close we want to match the year, which set of scores we should use, and how we should interpret them. As these input options are adjusted, a random list of 10 matching albums is automatically shown. This relies on us having a list of albums to pick from. In the example file, we have 2,500 albums, each listed with their year and a star rating based on chart data from 5 different geographic areas. The user picks the values they want in the blue boxes. These are interpreted in the big data set. The albums are shuffled into a random order and a selection is made based on the criteria. Finally, the 10 albums selected are displayed back to the user. There is also some reference data used to populate the drop-down lists. The worksheet with the listing of albums and scores has some extra columns on the right, coloured in blue. These generate a final rating for each album. This calculation is controlled by the user options. For example, the Y offset column shows how far off the selected year this album is. This is moderated by whether the user selected to have a close year or stated they didn't care. The final column is a random number that's used by the Picker tab. This uses the large function to identify the order of the random numbers in the datasheet, and in this sheet the entries are shuffled into that order. So how do we use these individual scores to pick the albums we want? The way the albums are picked is by having a value that is decreased by each score. The album that drops this value below 0 is the next selected album. This means that albums with bigger scores are more likely to be in the final selection. The first 10 picked albums are displayed in the user's view. The details of each album are extracted from the data worksheet. And that's it. You can download the spreadsheet to examine the details. I hope there was something useful here.